So this is an old video that you're going to watch. I started filming in November 2023 and it took me a year to post. So these are all archived clips. Some of my thoughts might have changed, some might stay the same, but I'd like to post them because it's part of the journey and it's important to me, and they matter to me, and it shows the journey and shows different thoughts I was going through compared to now, I guess. But yeah, enjoy the video. Peace. Right, I tell you what a great night last night was. Oh, what a great night that was. I went to a Stephen Bartlett sort of show, conference, I don't know what you'd call it, show. And he was speaking on stage, and God, the amount of golden nuggets that he dropped of valuable information. Oh, he dropped too much, if I'm honest. There's no way you can remember all that. You don't get any details after the show. God, I hope he releases all that in a video. The value that would give to many people is ridiculous. I did record the second half of the show on my, just the audio, just because after the first half, my mind was just completely full of stuff that there was no chance of remembering things. I mean, I took notes, so just to remember as much as I could. But some of the things he was talking about, I just love it. I just love being introduced to new ideas and new ways of thinking, new perspectives that you just haven't thought about before. Now, some, pair that also with, it did give me confidence, because some of the things he's talking about is really, I sort of know it already. So it gives me confidence because I'm, thinking like him, or, we're on the same page almost. And for someone to be so successful in business and probably in his personal life as well, and for someone to be on the same page as that, for me it signs that, you're doing something right. It gives me confidence. But the only issue with his show was, I cannot regurgitate that to anyone else and make it sound the same as him. He did such a great job that I can't even describe the things he was talking about. I mean, and all of his lessons and things that he's teaching are from experience, which for me makes it even more valuable, because he's not just talking about what he's read in other books and what other people have told him, or the guests that he's interviewed. He's not just talking about that. He's actually applying it to his experience, and he's talking about what he's actually done and how he's actually used this information. And it was a real big insight into, one, how his mind works, and two, how his businesses operate. It was phenomenal. I wish I could watch it again. I think that was his last show, which is a bit sad, because like I said, if there was another ticket, I would absolutely go and watch it again. The same thing if he was just saying everything all over again. And for those people that met him backstage and got to asking questions, how valuable must that have been? God, I would have paid the price for that if I would have known the value that it would give me. The only issue is, so I was driving on the way there, and I was actually thinking, well, imagine if you was actually able to ask him some questions. What questions would you ask? And every question I could probably think of seems so silly and so pathetic. By the end of the show, you're like, well, one, he's answered them all pretty simply. And then the questions I have after the show would be incredible for him to answer whatever I would have to say. So I would also want time after his show just to chat to him, just to go through what he's said, basically. God, the value that would be in that. But he makes such great points. And I also enjoyed how much I've sort of changed in the mindset from when I was younger. Because some things he was saying, I can understand why he's saying it. Because I remember seeing things when I was younger about motivation. And when I was younger, I always thought, that's a key part. You've got to be motivated. And someone asked a question basically about motivation that I would have asked if I was 15 or 16. And thankfully, I don't need to ask those questions because I understand motivation, and I understand, they ask something around discipline. And I know that's an idea that people discuss. It's discipline over motivation. Motivation goes away. And I'm not even on that. I'm not even thinking about being motivated or even being disciplined. I'm literally generally just thinking about just doing. Like, sod motivation and sod discipline. Just do. Do you know what I mean? Just do. I guess that is sort of discipline. But I don't even look at it as discipline. You just got to do as much as you can. And like he said, you've got to test and fail. And you find out the answers. But it is interesting because he is a big perfectionist. He wants to find the sort of what would you call it? The things that are wrong, or he wants to make everything as effective as it possibly can be. And I do agree with that. But what I'm doing here isn't that. I'm focusing on sort of quantity in the form of videoing, but quality in terms of eventually the stuff I'm going to be talking about is going to be valuable things, valuable information, valuable knowledge. Hopefully that's the aim, that every time I turn this camera on and speak, it's of value to someone. I think that's where my perfection sort of aim should be, rather than the video quality. Whereas he's talking about playing music for his guests so they feel comfortable and so they're happy and like it, and the temperature of rooms and CO2 in rooms. He's talking about that, whereas I'm not doing that right now. I don't know if I'll ever do that. I don't know if I even agree with that. But I don't disagree with his idea of doing it. For him, yes, that may increase whatever he wants, whatever his aim is. Whereas me, I just want to, my aim is, to go through thoughts, to expand on thoughts, to talk about deep emotional stuff, get my thoughts out there and let people know what's going on, because I think everyone should let everyone know what's going on in their head, really. And the more people do that, the more we can sort of figure out and weave through what are right ideas and what are wrong ideas. And I guess, making that a bit more perfect, rather than focusing on the video quality and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I would like to, and I don't know if I'm going to forever be in my car. But, no, it's just interesting anyway, where his mindset is. And especially when he's talking about the topic of AI, that really does get my mind going and thinking, where is that going to take us? Where is it? If AI worked out perfectly, where is it going to take us? And not only that, what is the step after AI? Because that is something that sounds and seems impossible to even think of. I mean, if AI is perfect and it gets us everything that we need and want perfectly, one, we won't have to ever work anymore, but two, our entertainment source will just be AI on AI. But I was thinking about this thing after the show where we sort of value what is scarce. So whatever is the opposite of the abundance, which with AI, I feel like the aim would be perfection. What then becomes valuable is imperfection. And for me, videos like this, and when I'm talking imperfection, I'm talking about things that are wrong. Being wrong becomes valuable because everything is always perfectly right. You don't need me to tell you what's right, because then you've got AI that's telling you what's right. If it gets to that point, if we can get AI to that point. But my idea is what's going to become valuable is being human. And being human is being wrong and being imperfect. And that's sort of my message on here. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm showing that we all are imperfect, and it's okay to be imperfect and to be wrong and to just, say things and get that out. But yeah, I'm going to have to listen to what he said multiple times and decipher it and think more on it and stuff like that. But yeah, it was class. Loved it. Would love to do it again. Hopefully he publishes what he's on about. Be great. But yeah, peace.